In the remote rural areas of western Myanmar's Sagaing Region, lack of access to health facilities can prove fatal for children under 5. Common childhood illnesses such as malaria, diarrhoea and pneumonia are major causes of sickness and even death. To address this, Malaria Consortium has been piloting an approach called iCCM, or Integrated Community Case Management, which includes diagnosis and treatment of these 3 diseases, combined with screening for malnutrition. The pilot covers 3 townships.
No bilo kama mi kuchong cha toa la yare jom lo jolo ta yare chimaro tongmai na bide da mi me murong kala maro jolo 9 nai lo toa ya bade.
Myanmar benefits from an existing network of local villages who act as malaria volunteers, established by the Ministry of Health and Sports. These volunteers have been instrumental in reducing malaria in recent years and can now play a critical role tracking those increasingly rare cases of the disease as the country moves towards elimination. Now that malaria is less common, Malaria Consortium has built on this network by retraining malaria volunteers to deliver iCCM to their communities, turning them into key players in making the iCCM approach work. During the project, malaria volunteers have shown they can effectively and safely diagnose and treat childhood illnesses, as well as prescribe antibiotics correctly. A crucial part of this achievement has been providing iCCM training not just for the malaria volunteers, but for those who are supervising their activities.
Under the leadership of the 3 departments of the Ministry of Health and Sports, we organized the training of trainers for the health staff from the township and regional NMCP team. As the result of the TOT, these master trainers gave the cascade training for the basic health staff to do supervision of malaria volunteers. As the test staff, these master trainers did the cascade training for malaria volunteers on how to deliver iCCM health service.
UD didn't be the common, many of the ladies, Sanse Kuda and Ninago, Sashiga Bade. Who come, Janone, Chicken Jama when I'm in Sina, Transit out the name Bobby.
The moment an this area, then Jabira Jamo, Dayuelay, and the Elecanarigo, Sansalana, Achalane, Nana, Ahara, the two only Johnny Lebio Jabinine.
Manda Giama, Napia Sena would then see the dread. Many of Gladia, Dama, Nasi Chance, which all won't be yoga to Kubenama. Loakan let to tell single, Chamber Lebu Benama.
I don't know, Clay, Nemo computer chamber. I don't know, Tana, the Lacada Arene, Sansi Giro, Ponchan Lake the chamber, Muganza, Tep, Ponchan, Janita. You can't come who Sanda Gio, Yabasama Giro, Gentan Mubshinere, Ajamo, Sam, Chamber Book.
The Migalia Bushin Tabi Piara, the Migalip Piara, Serena went to see Dobia. Dobia say, Bunching letting be the Lamont bet the letting be the touching known and letting be the Pia letting be the sing I asked a billet, Niani Vivian Labia, say, Yaking billet by.
The volunteers receive a small stipend to cover the costs of their role, and thanks to these additional iCCM responsibilities, their status within their communities has been revitalized.
Santa Pima, Junjin, Kunai to Lem, Clean Muriel, Puma, Agola, Puma, Yongila.
Okay, let's come back to Rungani out Kaledi and Media, let do see where to a Java, Combade, let come back.
And I shall Mashima Piarane, Paisan Machi Abu, Sihan Matuadabu, Shamashima, Tuara Piarale, Piore, Conde, Amiazi, Shamashima, Amiazi, Shima, one tare you tender.
An essential element to making iCCM work, and the main challenge, is supervision. This needs to be both provided and sufficiently resourced. Supervision of the volunteers is carried out by the government health departments, health assistants and midwives, and Malaria Consortium staff.
I will let go about the Maria, Lara, but I love you, Ma, supervision, Labi, Mani of Kalidi, Yoga Shapuira, Gudara, seeing the night, Mamma Tibioma, Mani is Rushi, being bigger, being bigger than bigger, now be a lagoon, Lucy, like you should be at the carry. Say anyone, you got it.
Malaria Consortium ရဲ့ထောက်ပံ့မှုနဲ့ဒီ iCCM သုတေသနလုပ်ငန်းပေါ်လာတဲ့အခါမှာကျမတို့အခြေခံကျန်းမာရေးဝန်ထမ်းတွေအနေနဲ့ ငှက်ဖျား volunteer တွေကိုပို့ပြီးတော့မှအနီးကပို့ပြီးတော့ supervision လုပ်နိုင်လာပြီးတော့ဝင်းနှခေါင်းများမှာရှိနေတဲ့9နှစ်အောက်ကလေးတွေရဲ့ကျန်းမာရေးစောင့်ရှောက်မှုကလည်းပုံမကောင်းမှုလာတာကိုတွေ့လာရပါတယ်
Preliminary results demonstrate that malaria volunteers can take on additional skills to provide iCCM in their communities. This has successfully expanded their contribution to healthcare beyond just malaria.
The trained malaria volunteers can fill in the gap, particularly for the under 5 population, where the current health system does not provide the health facility and healthcare provider at the moment.
In a country which is getting close to eliminating malaria, the network of malaria volunteers remains an essential mechanism for identifying and tracking individual cases of the disease. With iCCM added to their duties, malaria volunteers remain an important asset to their communities. They are equipped with the skills, tools and medical supplies to diagnose and treat childhood illnesses, assess and refer cases of malnutrition, while remaining vigilant about those increasingly rare malaria cases.
ငှက်ဖျား case တွေတဖြည်းဖြည်းနှဲပါလာတဲ့နောက်ပိုင်းမှာကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီငှက်ဖျား volunteer တွေကို iCCM program ကိုထည့်ပေးလိုက်ခြင်းအပြင်သူတို့အနေနဲ့ volunteer လုပ်ငန်းကိုဆက်လက်လှုပ်ဆောင်ပြီးတော့ငှက်ဖျား elimination ဖြစ်ဖြစ်ငှက်ဖျား surveillance လုပ်ငန်းတွေမှာပဲဖြစ်ဆက်လက်ပြီးတော့လှုပ်ဆောင်လာနိုင်မယ်လို့ကျွန်မထင်မြင်ယူဆမိပါတယ်
iCCM has the potential to become a feasible and effective strategy for extending health services to remote communities and improving the health of children under 5. The participation and cooperation of key government departments in this pilot to make iCCM part of the National Malaria Strategic Plan has been vital to the project's success. Once the pilot is complete and the final recommendations shared, Malaria Consortium hopes that the Myanmar Ministry of Health and Sports will see the value in scaling up this approach.
It is very important and essential to find out the needs and lessons from the current operation research and to advocate 3 existing departments we are working with: a National Malaria Control Program, Child Health and Development Division, Nutrition Development and Research, to get their commitment, to get their approval and to draw the plan for scale up.
ဒီစီမံချက်ချခင်တော့ကျမတို့ကကူချောင်းချပြီးတော့မှတွားပြီးဆေးပြရတယ်အခုဒီစီမံချက်ချပြီးရင်ကလေးတွေအတွက်အကုန်လုံးနေရောညာရောဒီမှာပြလို့ရတယ်
ကျွန်တော်အဲ့လိုမျိုးထင်ပါတယ်ရှိမယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အခုလိုဒီကျွန်တော်တို့အဲ့မျိုးဒီရွာတွေဖြစ်နေတယ်ဆိုရင်ရှိတယ်ဆိုရင်ကျွန်တော်ရွာအဖို့ကတော့ဒါအများကြီးတိုးတက်ဖို့ရှိပါတယ်
ကျွန်တော်ဆန္ဒကတော့စကန်တဲ့ data ကြီးအတွက်မှာ9နှစ်ရောက်ကလေးတွေယောဂဖြစ်ပွားမှုတွေပြေဆုံးမှုတွေလျှော့ချမှဖြစ်တဲ့အတွက် iCCM စီမံချက်ကိုဆက်လက်ဆောင်ရွက်တင်ပါတယ်လို့ယူဆပါတယ်